Listen, anytime you start dating, it's 2024 and it's been like this for the last probably 25 years. You are going to date someone with children. It's pretty common. I actually used to seek out women with children because I thought women with children had a more nurturing quality about themselves. But when I tell you, sometimes you are going to run across a woman or a man who parents very differently than you. Like the weirdest type shit you ever gonna see in life. This is that story. It's story time.
Hey Tom, tell me a story.
At the store, on my little Target stroll. This just happened on, a Sunday afternoon after church. I figured I'd hit Target up, go pick up a few things, right? So I'm in Target, aisle after aisle, checking out some different stuff. And I remember somebody had told me to try this new wine that was out, and I think it had just hit the market. I think it was like Black Girl Magic or something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna go pick up a couple bottles and support, right? So I'm headed, down that aisle. I'm walking, I'm looking, and I look down the aisle, and I'm like, okay, okay. And I see this like short, thick, super curvy girl, and she just shopping, minding her own business. And so I walk down the aisle. She's such in her own world, she don't even notice that I'm walking down the aisle. So I come back the other way, and I'm trying to like just get her to glance over or anything. She just like, I need that, I need this. So I just go ahead and I tap her on the shoulder, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, she's like, excuse me, and I'm like, hey, no, not trying to, just, hey, I thought you were a really beautiful woman, and, I was, trying, I basically tried to put my little bid in or whatever. And she was just like, you just don't touch people in public, I hope you know that, so I kind of little weird, like exchange. So I start to walk away, but she's like, I do need your help. And I'm like, okay. And I turn around and she's like, well, can you grab me that thing off the top step? And I'm like, she was short. So I reached up, grabbed it for her. This and third. And I said, yeah, my name's Tom. I just wanted to meet you. I saw you in here shopping. You're really beautiful, da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, that's your line. That's the line you gonna give me? All of you men are all the same, start hitting you with all of that. So that led to a little playful exchange, little banter back and forth, da-da-da-da-da. Don't you see me shopping here with my son? And I'm looking around and I don't see no kids. And I'm looking around and she's like, I'm like, what kid are you talking about? And she look around and she's like, right there. And so I turn around, look, I'm like, I don't see nobody, you know what I'm saying? I don't see nobody, right? Then all of a sudden she's like, Corbin. And like, I turn around and it's like a whole kid just standing there. I swear to God, on nothing. No, I didn't see no kid. I just turned around and looked that way and I ain't see no kid. And she's like, Corbin. And he just pop out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I look at him. Y'all, this little nigga just strange. Like he had like a little wide head and his eyes was like far apart, and he had like, it was like, why is his eyes like that? And then he had like this sinister grin, and he would always keep his hands sort of just like this and always sort of tilt his forehead, and he just talked strange and always wore these big ass red boots. Like, and he was about, I think at the time he was probably like 8 or 9, and it was just strange. And she was like, this is my son Corbin, da-da-da-da-da, he this, he that, and this and third. Now I've been working with kids for years, so in the first 30 seconds I can tell this boy was on the spectrum. He had some issues, and like I could tell she was one of them parents who don't believe in labels, don't believe in any of that stuff, and she just was like, he's normal, he's perfectly fine, he's just like any other kid. And I'm just like, I can see the differences. He had like really sharp teeth, like fangs almost, like it was different. He was very much different. And so he's standing there and he's just like, I hope you understand, tricks are not for kids. And I'm like, tricks are for kids. What? And she's like, oh, I forgot to get his tricks. That's his favorite cereal. Oh my gosh, let me go get it. And I'm like, this exchange is not normal. Like, how do you not know that this is the omen here? I mean, he was just weird and strange and dangerous looking, right? We talk a little bit. I get her number. I leave. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking to the car and I'm just like, hell, strange. I remember thinking that in my head, but it just got way worse, right? So I end up texting her that night, you know what I'm saying? She texts me back, da-da-da-da-da. You know, we going back and forth. And she's just like, so I'm like, I'm trying to get her to go out with, you know what I'm saying? So we can go and, you know, hang out or whatever. But she's just saying like she's not from this area. She doesn't have any babysitters, anything like that. So it's kind of difficult for her to get out sometimes. And most of the time she has to take Corbin with her. Like she had to take him on dates. So I was just like, I really ain't trying to do that, but let me think of somewhere we can go, something we can do to incorporate Corbin. Even though, like, you know, it's like you trying to get to know a person. Me personally, this is just my, 5 cents. I feel like when you're trying to get to know somebody, you got to get to know them before you get to know their kids. Even though you end up having to do it twice, because you will meet somebody and now you're trying to get to know them as an individual. And so you date them for like, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you meet their kids. So now you got to meet them all over again in their mother role. So it's different. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why sometimes once the kids get involved, the relationship changes. Because I'm now dating a new person. So I say all that to say I picked out I think it was like a Marvel movie or something like that was coming out. So I was like, we can get some food beforehand and then we can go to the movies. And she was like, let's just go to the movies. And I'm like, you sure you don't want to go get some food? We can chat or whatever while we getting food. She's like, She was like, Corbin doesn't really eat every place and he doesn't eat everything, right? Or you can just come over to my house and you could eat here and then we can go to the movie. And I was like, that sounds cool. I can do that, right? So I head over to the crib and she done, bake some chicken. You know what I'm saying? I could smell it cooking, macaroni, cheese, greens. I'm like, okay, mama, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get in here and tear some stuff down. She had on like this little pajama situation. I was like, I don't know what movie she going to, but she got them titties and ass out. And I'm like, so she walking around stacked. Like she had like really big boobs. And like she was a bigger girl, but she was small. Like she had like a smaller waist and like a big butt and big thighs. And so she walking around looking real super good, right? And so she done made some food. So she sit on the couch while the food cooking. So we talking and, I'm trying to concentrate on what the words was coming out her mouth. But man, her boobs was just so big and like she wanted them talk and grab and laugh type people. So every time she would move, it would be like jiggle, jiggle, jaggle, jiggle, jaggle, jiggle, jiggle, jaggle. So I'm just like, So she go in the kitchen, mess around, get some stuff out, and she come out, and I'm sitting on the couch while she in the kitchen, and all I hear, and I keep hearing this sound, and she comes back in the room and she's like, Corbin, are you playing with Mr. Tom? And I'm like, where is he at? He's like, he's right there. I turn around, boom, there he go. I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna put a bell on your ass because you just popping out. And he's standing there and he's just like, got that look on his face. He's just doing this crazy stuff. Just my speed from wall to wall is 3.8 seconds. He's just like, did you not notice my speed? I'm like, no. No, what, when, and how, y'all. And she just, laughs it off. He just trying to tell you he fast. And I'm like, girl, this nigga needs help. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she totally oblivious to it. So she come back over, sit on the couch, and she's like, we can just chill here and watch a movie, da-da-da-da-da. We don't have to go out. So, we just end up sitting there watching a movie, laughing, talking. She then turned around, then fell back, sitting in my lap, you know what I'm saying? And we chilling or whatnot. And then she like started, massaging my thighs and, this, and the third, you know what I'm saying? And she turns around and gives me a kiss. Now, baby got that situation, so I'm down for whatever's about to happen. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, where is it at? You know what I'm saying? Where is it? Is it hiding? And so she's like, hey, you want to go in the other room? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, so what about Corbin? She's like, oh, he's probably in his room playing the game or sleep or something like that. So we go in the other room. And so she leaned back on the bed, start taking her clothes off, and I'm just like, shit, this is happening. So she take all her clothes off, get in the bed. I take my shirt off, you know what I'm saying? I lay down on top of her. You know, I'm kissing her, this, and the third. And she's just like, oh, it's been so long. Oh, my gosh. And she's like, I want you to do whatever you want to do. Just do it. Monte didn't. He need to hear no more. He was like, let's go. So I pull out, you know what I'm saying? I got her legs up in the air. And listen, ladies who watching, that first initial slide in, listen, for her, that shit was top tier. Like, it ain't like that for everybody. Some people, it's, you know what I'm saying? But with her, man, that first, she was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It was top tier, right? So we at it for a minute, like, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, fuck, that. And I'm looking around, but I don't see nobody. And I'm like, what? And I whisper, I was like, hey, man, I think your son in here. And she's like, no, he's in his room. I can hear the game on or whatever. And I'm still in there, you know what I'm saying? I'm in there. She's like, don't stop. So I'm in there. And then all of a sudden, I hear the female vagina has 7 G-spots. And I'm like, what? And she's like, what? You know, she gets up and I'm looking, and I don't see this little motherfucker nowhere, right? And so she's getting out the bed, titties and ass everywhere. And she's like, Corbin. You know what I'm saying? And she looking, I don't see this, right? And so she just gets down on the ground. He up under the bed, fam. He up under the bed. And he just sitting there with that look and them boots. And then I'm like, I start getting dressed. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Corbin, go to your room. And I'm like, hey, you know, is everything okay with him? And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I mean, he just seemed a little, you know, different. Like, you know. And she instantaneously got pissed off. Like, get out, get your stuff. Don't call me, just went off on me, right? And I'm just like, I mean, if you hear barking, it's probably a dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she put me out. Catch me in part 2. That's all I'm gonna say. Catch me in part 2. Yeah, I should have left that at that.